Alright, now we're going to talk about step 3, driving information. I have the cities that I wanted to visit because my main goal was to get to Wilmington, but I needed to stop a couple of places before I got there. Right here on yours it'll say replace with home city. Just go ahead and put Greenville there and Greenville here because we're going to leave Greenville and we're also going to end back up in Greenville. So the first place I want to go. So day 1, let's say I'm going to start in Greenville. So Monday morning, I'm going to leave Greenville and go to Charlotte. Monday night, I'm going to stay in Charlotte. So Tuesday morning, I'll be in Charlotte. Go to travel Tuesday from Charlotte to Raleigh. Stay the night Tuesday night in Raleigh. Wake up Wednesday morning in Raleigh and travel to Wilmington and stay Wednesday night in Wilmington. Wake up Thursday morning in Wilmington and drive to Savannah, Georgia Thursday. Stay Thursday night in Savannah, Georgia. Wake up on Friday in Savannah, Georgia and drive home Friday evening to Greenville. The next thing you're going to do is go on Google Maps, not my Google map that you're working on, but Google Maps, and you're going to look up the miles or the distance. I'll show you how to do that in this next clip. But when you write that in, so the distance between Greenville, Tennessee and Charlotte, North Carolina is 182 miles. Okay, then you're going to type in Charlotte to Raleigh. From Charlotte to Raleigh, it's 144 miles. You're going to do that for each destination. You're not doing any math here. You're just literally keying it into the website, writing down the miles in between each place. Alright, now you need to do some research. This is where you're going to need to keep your budget in mind. It asks you, why do you want to go to these locations for your road trip? Okay, well, I want to go to Charlotte to go to Carowinds Amusement Park. That's probably going to be about $60 if I'm guessing. Then in Raleigh, I want to go to the Museum of Art, which is probably going to cost me anywhere from $25 to $50. Wilmington, I want to visit the Riverwalk. And I know there's a lot of shops there, so I may want to budget for about $100 of spending money. And then in Savannah, I just want to have a beach day. So that day I could say I'm not going to spend any money because I'm just going to spend a day at the beach. That is the reasons why I want to stop at each of these locations. Alright, the next part I'm going to show you how to find the distance from point A to point B using googlemaps.com. Okay, for right now, let's skip the scale factor because it really isn't working with proportions. It's more, it is working, but it's more about making like miles into inches. And I think for you to be able to get out what I want you for this assignment, we really don't need to do that right now. Alright, we are on part 3, the car and travel. We're going to pick out our car now. Determine the average gas mileage for each vehicle and select the car you'll be renting for your road trip. It gives us 4 options. A 2016 BMW 320i, 2015 Ford Mustang, 2016 Toyota Corolla, and a 2014 Fiat 500. Alright, it's going to give us the amount of gallons per 100 miles. So what you're going to do is take that 100 miles and divide it by the gallons given. So if we're looking at the BMW, we're going to take 100 divided by 3.6, which is 27.7. You all can do the 27.7, or you can round it up to 28. It'd be easier to work with whole numbers, but either way you want to do it is fine. So I'm going to do that for each one. 100 divided by the decimal given. And you're going to write your answers in here. Okay, now let's look at the range. The range has already been taken care of for us, so we don't need to fill that in. I'm going to go ahead and take my miles per gallon here and write it down here again, just filling it out. Alright, gallon in the tank. I'm going to show you in the next section of this video after this how to find in Google how much each of these cars hold per tank. Then you need to find out how much it is to fill up your tank. So my research said the BMW has a 15.8 gallon tank. I know that gas right now here in Greenville is about $2.50. So I'm going to multiply $2.50 per 15.8 because the BMW can hold 15.8 in its gas tank. So if I do $2.50 times 15.8, it's going to cost me about $39.50 to fill that up. I'm going to do that for each one of these as well. Alright? To get your answer, down here, what car will you be renting for the road trip and why? Here's where you're going to put the car. So if you say, I'm going to pick BMW because the blank is to blank. So you're going to compare the cost to fill with the tank size, gallon and tank, multiply that by the miles per gallon. So if it's the Toyota Corolla, or not Toyota Corolla, sorry. If it's the BMW, because the cost to fill is $39.50 to the tank size times the miles per gallon. So if it's 400 miles, when you multiply tank size and miles per gallon, it would be BMW because the gas is 15.8 to 400 miles per gallon. Okay? You're going to find out which is the best deal. If you look at the money, how much you're going to spend per tank, and then calculate how many miles you're going to get, one of them is going to probably come out and be like, okay, this is the best value for my dollar. Alright, the next part of this video, like I said, I'm going to show you how to find the gallon and tank. Okay, we're going to start with step 2, cost of gas for road trip. You're going to write down all your cities. So day 1, Greenville to Charlotte. Day 2, Charlotte to Raleigh. Day 3, Raleigh to Wilmington. Day 4, Wilmington to Savannah. Day 5, Savannah to Greenville. Alright, I chose the Toyota Corolla for an example for this one. So it's going to cost me $32.50 for every 405.6 miles. Alright, so from Greenville to Charlotte, it's going to take me 182 miles to get there. So I know if I start with an empty tank, it's going to cost me $32.50 to start there. This is where I recorded it. 182 miles for $32.50. I know that my tank holds 31.2 miles to the gallon in a 13-gallon tank. If I multiplied those two together, I'm going to get 405.6 miles until I have an empty tank. Don't forget that. Alright, so I need to figure out on day 2 how many miles have I traveled on that new tank of gas. So day 1 was 182. Day 2 is 144. Where did I find that 144? Don't forget to go back and refer to your mileage page, which is this one right here where you wrote down all those miles. Alright, back to day 2. Day 2, keep your proportion the same because your gas price doesn't change because your mileage per tank hasn't changed either. Alright, so from Charlotte to Raleigh, it's going to take me 144 miles. So I'm going to add that 182 from day 1 to the day 2 miles totalage, and you'll get 326 miles. Now, 326 miles isn't 405, so you've still got gas in your tank, so you don't need to buy any gas for the second day. Day 3, Raleigh to Wilmington. Keep your proportion. Add the 326 from day 2 to the total miles from Raleigh to Wilmington, which is 129 miles. When you add that together, you have 455 miles. That's over 405 miles, so you're going to have to deduct 455 to the 405. You're going to have 50 miles left over, so you've got to stop and get gas. That's going to cost you another $32.50. Okay, that 50 miles, so let's say I stopped, I got gas, 405 miles. I've spent 55 miles out of my new tank of gas, so I've got to remember to drop that down here. Alright, from Wilmington to Savannah, you're going to drive, you've already spent 50 miles out of your gas from yesterday, and then it's going to take you another 294 miles to get from Wilmington to Savannah, for a total of 344 miles. That total is less than 405, so you don't have to get gas that day. Okay, Savannah back to Greenville, keep your proportion. Here's the miles from day 4. It's going to take you 348 miles to get from Savannah to Greenville. That's going to take you over the 405 miles with 692. So your gas tank is empty at 692. You filled up once, 405. That's going to leave you with 287. So you actually had to get gas twice. Once from the mileage from this day, and then once after you filled up from using all these here. So that means you're going to have 3250 plus 3250. Now you're going to add up all of these from the whole 5 days. 3250, 3250, 3250, and 3250, which averages out to $129. How did I know that I'm staying on budget? Well, yes, I'm staying on budget because $129 is about 8% of the budget. My budget was $1,669. So I kind of played around with my percents on my calculator, and I got somewhere around $130.18 for 8% of my budget. So I'm going good. Which, remember, gas was the least amount I wanted to spend on my budget. So under $200 was my estimation. So we're going good. All right. The next part we're going to look at is eating and sleeping. This is the fun part. You get to find your motel, hotel, and Airbnb. So for the next section, we're going to be looking at some places on Airbnb and motels and hotels to stay the night.